Screen do you want to see?
One, you had the tulips up? Or
No.
which? Oh,
We're live right now, Tanya.
Sorry.
It's not which screen do you want to look at.
This one here. I like this one. Or this thing.
I don't know. The chair's just gonna stay there. Oh, we don't need that thing or anything. Whatever it is.
I
Hey, everyone. Oh, camera's off. I don't know. Good enough.
Good enough.
It's kind of like real estate right now. It's all over the effing place. We got some new microphones. I have a lapel mic for it too, but
I decided to.
we just clip this on, and hopefully people can hear us a little better. We've been having some major sound issues lately with my other microphones, so I got these and I set them all up. Following some nerd on YouTube that knew how to use OBS better than me. So yeah, what are we doing today, Tanya?
We are going to...
Happy Thursday.
Friday. It's Friday.
Supposed to be Thursday. It's Friday though.
Yeah. We are going to get to know Robert a little bit better. For those who might not know him, I actually might learn a thing or two. Actually,
This chair's annoying. You talk.
So yeah, that's what the plan is to get to know our local realtor way better than we already know him. So my
That
first
could be interesting.
it could be. So my first question for you is a very easy answered one. How old are you?
39.
Not yet.
Oh, I'm 38. I'm only 38. That's right.
You're
Sorry.
39 in
38.
November.
I'll be 39 this year. I'm 38. So I don't know where did life go. I used to think 40 was kind of old, but now I'm like almost there, and whatever. It is what it is, right?
Where were you born?
I was born in Comox in the hospital there.
Awesome.
I grew up on Hornby, but they shipped us off to that hospital to be born. I wasn't one of the hippies that like did it at home in a bathtub or anything like some of them did. But yeah, Comox, St. Joseph's Hospital.
Wouldn't that be interesting? Do you have any birthmarks? And if so, where?
Birthmarks. Well, you added this in. This isn't fair. We did you last week,
I know.
and it didn't say this.
No, I gave you different
I don't really
questions.
have a birthmark. I have like a little tiny dot right there that they call a third nipple, but it's not even like anything. You can't. It's not even. It's skin color. It looks like a little scar. That's not a birthmark, but maybe similar.
It's kind of like a birthmark. It's something that you've had since birth, right?
Yes, I believe so.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Are you named after anyone?
I wonder if we're both talking at the same time, if it still works because we've got two mics now.
Yeah, because I was talking at the same time when we were doing the
But does it
testing.
hear both of us? I don't know.
I have
Seems
no idea.
complicated. Sorry, what was the last one?
Are you named after anyone?
I don't know. My uncle's name's Robert. Uncle Bob. Bob's your uncle. People always say Bob is my uncle, and they never quite get it. They don't know Bob, but Bob is my uncle, and I don't know if I was actually named after Bob, but I kind of thought I was, but I don't know. Never actually been
Asked.
told that or asked, so I'm just gonna assume that maybe the only person with the same name in my family, maybe I was named after him. I don't know.
Maybe.
He's a character though.
That's your dad's brother, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, yeah. Anyways, next.
Okay. Are you a good cook?
Oh, I think I'm probably good at cooking. I like to cook a little bit. I think it's interesting, but I don't like to take the time to do it anymore. I'm
He's actually a really
too impatient.
he's
I think.
actually a really good cook.
I'm a really good cook.
Yeah, he's a really good cook. I like it when he cooks dinner once in a while because it's, well, one, it's a break, and two, it's he's a really good
Me, I
cook.
always cook.
He's a really good cook.
Yeah, I guess I'm a good cook. I don't cook very often anymore, but it's I don't know. Life's busy. I feel like I'm too busy to cook, and Tanya's a good cook, and she's feeds me well,
There you go.
as you can tell.
Here's another. Well, here's a question you asked me. Are you a morning person or a night person?
I think in like my natural rhythm makes me a night person, but I mean, right, I'm not. I'm usually a night person, but I'm kind of. The days have been long lately, even though I haven't been up super early, and I've been kind of tired at night, so I usually go to bed earlier, or at least into bed earlier than I used to. But I can be a morning person. Like when I was a mechanic and I was up at like early every morning to the gym late. I kind of missed that. I used to call it like the high of being up so early and just giving her for 14 days straight. So I think that can change for me, but I definitely maybe as I get older I can get up a little earlier with less effort. But I think naturally I'm a night person for the most part.
Okay. Yeah, that's how I feel too, actually.
About me?
Yeah, you're more of a night person.
I'm in a better mood at night, I think.
Yeah, maybe. Are you close to anyone now that you initially disliked?
You, sugar. I didn't initially dislike her. Close to anyone now that I initially disliked? I don't know. That's a weird question.
Well, I have an answer to that question.
Oh yeah, who is it?
Sam. Samantha Kirk.
Oh.
Samantha Kirk, if you're
I
listening.
didn't dislike her.
I disliked
Oh,
her.
you. I'm like, what the fuck?
When I met her, because I actually hired her at La Senza,
Oh, okay.
and she was like too much. For
Pretty
me.
little white girl. I didn't like her.
She was very high energy, and I was like, dude, bring it down a notch. And then, I don't know, we just became best friends after that.
Huh. I'm sure that actually it's funny because I was talking to that Dustin guy that Tristan gave me his number. I'm like, it's funny because me and Tristan are buddies and him and Dustin. And I'm like, it's funny because when me and Lauren used to go to the gym,
Yeah.
we used to sort of laugh at Dustin to make fun of him a bit behind his back. Or not Dustin, Tristan.
Oh, yeah.
I never told him that though. So hopefully he's not watching because we might go to the gym together tonight. But now and I never knew him at all, right? Like never really heard him talk. He just was doing his own thing and being two dudes in a gym, maybe being too judgmental. But yeah, all good. But he's a friend of mine now, so it's just funny how that perspective changes, I guess, right? When you actually know someone and not just judging them by what you see on the outside and when they're doing their own thing and probably don't care what anyone's thinking.
Here's a good question. Are you more likely to avoid conflict or engage it head on?
Man, like the real estate this last month has been crazy. It's been pretty high stress in my opinion. I don't know why, but I just seem to be getting the difficult things. And I don't usually avoid conflict. I'll usually, I don't know, approach it, I think, and deal with it. I think for the most part, like in real estate, when stuff's going sideways, you have to solve those problems. So that's kind of a conflict. You have to work through it. And if you're not willing to work through the problems in real estate, you're either not going to buy a house or an investment property, and you ain't going to sell one. That's for sure. So I'd say I'd probably take it head on. I mean, I think life, in a sense, is kind of a conflict that you have to work through a lot of things. It doesn't just come easily unless it's like.
I would have to say you don't avoid conflict.
Getting fat, but I don't know, like something easy, you know what I mean? It's like, it's easy just to go eat crappy.
Yeah.
But to diet and be lean and work hard, it takes a lot of work, and I think life's the same. And you run into conflicts along the way, so you have to be willing to take them on.
If you were, I guess, like, well, for me, like, I hate conflict. I hate it with a passion. Like, and I'm the kind of person that I would probably try to avoid conflict instead of facing it head on. But I guess it all depends on the situation too, right? Like, does it have to be does it have to be conflicted? Or can you like come at it a different way?
It depends what you think is the conflict. I mean, will I try to avoid a fight for some retard at the bar that's just, being a young punk? I'll avoid that conflict. But when we're trying to put a mortgage deal together on a triplex right now for ourselves, and it's not looking super great. It needs some work. Will I avoid that conflict and that headache by just walking away, or will I just pull the trigger and know that market's going crazy, kind of like here was, and probably going to go up 15% in the next year and make it happen anyways. That's a conflict, but maybe with a good price adjustment.
Yeah.
I don't know. So it depends on the conflict. Stupid stuff, avoid it.
Yeah.
Things that you have to deal with them.
All right. So I guess this is another life question. Do you see the glass half empty or do you see the glass half full?
I don't care as long as there's something in it. All right.
I think that's more of a philosophical question. Like, are you optimistic or are you like pessimistic?
It's not in the glass. Who cares as long as you can do something with it? So I guess it would be half full then.
So for you, it would be half full. You'd be the pessimist, or not the pessimist, the optimist.
But I don't know. I can look at the negative for sure too. I think like anything, I think that's like a habit or a way of thinking that maybe myself included, like how negative are you? And if you look at everything negatively, it's always going to be negative. But if you can look at it being positive,
I kind of actually that question actually makes me think of that training that we watched for Keyspire, where he had the jar, and then he filled it with like the golf balls, and then he filled it with the rocks, and then he filled it with the water, and then the sand. And
do you want to come say hi, and then give us a minute?
My screen is.
Okay, we'll go play. Then we'll fix it after.
yeah, I told
I
you.
forgot to tell you not to bug us.
I told him that he.
5 more minutes.
Give me. Yeah, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, so that was interesting because it was like he put the golf balls in it, right?
Yeah.
And then he said, "Do you think anything else can fit?" And most people were like, "No, what do you mean?" So then he put the sand in it, or the marbles or whatever was next, and then think anything else can fit? No. And then he put the sand, and then think anything else can fit, and then he's put the water until it finally overflowed.
Yeah.
And proved that you can't. I don't know.
There's never. Yeah.
There's always more room, sort of thing in the jar.
Yeah.
Like your brain, you can never learn too much. Maybe some of it flows out the other side, but
Yeah.
the more you can learn, the more you can remember, the more knowledge you have, the better you'll do.
Here's a silly question. How many times do you look at yourself in the mirror a day?
Oh, I don't know. Not very many. Like once when I'm doing my hair. And, I mean, it's probably good if I check my teeth once in a while before I go to an appointment. But it doesn't matter actually because we're wearing masks all the time.
There you
Like, I got bad breath. Oh, it doesn't matter. But I don't know. I don't really look in the mirror a ton. I don't think.
No.
I mean, if I'm in the bathroom, I'll look, but I won't like overthink it. Really, I'm not like one of those guys that does my hair every 5 minutes. But I don't know. I probably maybe should look in the mirror a little more.
I
will. I guess it depends where you're superstitious. I don't really care about my hair as much. I actually got used to it. I used to always wear a hat, but I'll maybe look at how my shirt's tucked in more so or something. But yeah,
he's not a very vain
I
person.
look in. I look in the mirror twice a day. Once when I'm waking up, once when I'm going to bed. Maybe a couple times in the middle of glancing.
That's fine. I feel like I look in the mirror way too much then in comparison, because I literally will look in the mirror when I get up in the morning, when I go to the bathroom, when I go to bed at nighttime.
Like you'll actually look at yourself. Like,
Yeah, I'll actually I'll check myself out. Well, I
so
feel like
you're the vain
well,
one.
I feel like I'm doing it more now for other reasons, because I'm dieting right now. And
Right, it depends what your mind's on, for sure. I mean, when I was doing a bodybuilding show, I was looking in the freaking mirror and like flexing and doing things, and I had to not necessarily look in the mirror, but take pictures of myself for progress for my coach, and you definitely what you're doing in life, you start to glob onto more, right? Which
for sure
are obsessive personalities.
If you could give your younger self,
No ums.
if you could give your younger self any advice, what would it be?
If I give my younger self any advice, what would it be? I don't know. I don't really think I have any advice I'd give myself younger. I mean, not to, like, these are the easy things that everyone would say, oh, I don't care what anyone thinks, sort of thing, or like, I don't know. I just, yeah, I don't know.
Or how about
I feel like maybe like, I don't know, done something with my life earlier on in life, got the hell off of the little rock I grew up on, but
yeah?
I think that sort of, made me who I am. Like, I didn't leave there till I was a little older. It's kind of hard when you grow up on a little island and you're sort of stuck there, I felt like. And what do you use to go? Where do you go, right? So I left when I was in my 20s, and I feel like maybe, I don't know. I mean, every little thing along the way sort of shapes who you are, right? So I feel like I've made some good progress since then, and if I had a different mindset and different way of thinking, or grew up somewhere else, maybe I would not have been able to learn as much and do as much in the time I have been out into the real world. So yeah, I don't know, just get stuff done sooner, and I'd say take more risks. But I'm kind of a big risk taker anyways, but nothing insane. Like would I tell myself I shouldn't have bought my first house that I got laid off from 6 months later and didn't work for 18 months before I finally went to Fort Mac with a blown out knee and got a job and started paying my mortgage. Well, I was paying my mortgage still, but I don't think I'd tell myself not to do that, because I think that's what created a lot of things that in my life that I have now that are maybe going to make me more successful, whether it's personally or financially, from that.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, makes
I
sense.
don't know.
That makes sense.
I mean, the only reason I turned my first house that I still have into a rental property is because I needed someone to occupy it. I couldn't sell it. I had a 40-year no down payment mortgage. I couldn't sell it. I couldn't get my money back. It was overpriced, and I took it off the market because I got it rented. Tenants in there, put my stuff in storage. Boom. That was my experience into the rental market. Go ahead, sir.
If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live?
Can I sing? Yeah. I don't think I have the voice for singing. If I could live anywhere in the rental market, where would I live?
No, anywhere in the world.
Or any in the world, rental market.
Eh.
If I could live anywhere in the world, where would I live? I don't think I would live anywhere specifically all the time. I think I kind of miss like the leaving Campbell River on a plane to go to Fort Mac and the change. I kind of like the change of scenery, the change of atmosphere and stuff. So like the people that are like, you know, snow bunnies or sunbirds or whatever you call them.
Snowbirds?
Snowbirds where they like maybe live in you know, Florida or wherever sometimes, and then they have like Hornby had lots of those people. And they had money, so they'd be on Hornby for like, you know, 4 to 6 months of the year when it was nice out in their, you know, nice little beachfront property, and then they'd be somewhere else in the summer, right? Or in the winter. And I think that's partly because maybe in the summer in the U.S. in those places it's super, super hot probably.
Oh, yeah.
So then they come here where it's a little cooler, and they go back there for the cooler months. So I think it'd be cool to have something like that, like, you know, maybe a place in Mexico where you live part-time, or I don't know. Yeah, in a place. I mean, I like Vancouver Island, but I definitely think getting out of it and getting out of the winter state would be beneficial to health and life in general.
Nice. Oh, I did it again. I said If you had to change your first name, what would you change it to?
I don't know. I wouldn't change my name, I don't think, but I don't really have any thoughts. I'm not that creative to be like, I want my name to be this. Maybe like I be like my hippie root name from, I'd be like Star or wait, that's a female hippie name, but Dandelion.
You weren't one of those people that didn't like your name growing up?
Oh, okay. I never put much thought into it. Okay. So my nickname growing up was Bert, and I didn't mind it, but it's just one of those things I kind of got sick of. But it's funny because when I was younger, I didn't like being called Rob, and I don't know if that's maybe because I knew other people named Rob that I didn't really like Rob sort of thing, like maybe same my age, and it was like I didn't want to be the same as them. But as I got older, I definitely didn't like being called that anymore. And I don't really care. A lot of people still call me Bert or whatever when I see them that I grew up with, or some people call me Rob. But I always introduce myself as Robert because that's just what I say. And people always think Robert's too long. I think they don't tell me this, but they always say, "Oh, what do you mind being called?" And I'm like, I don't care. Call me whatever you want. Call me Robert, call me Bert, call me Bob, but call me Rob.
It's a 6-letter word.
It's a long name, so people instantly want to know what you like to be called because it's a name that always gets shortened, I think. So some people call me Bob sometimes, and you know, I don't mind that. I don't really care. I'm not super
I like
picky.
when people call him Richard.
People call me Richard, yeah, and I don't mind that, but
it just makes me laugh.
They just, I think people see Robert Nixon, and even like with my advertising and stuff, and then they automatically go to Richard. They don't even realize it a lot of the time.
Yeah. Well, you already answered that question. If you have a nickname, what is it?
Oh.
Which?
Yeah, I don't think I'd change my name to anything.
You already answered.
Maybe like.
You said Bert. If anybody missed that.
Maybe like. What do I look like?
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, okay, keep going.
I have one more question. My last question. If you inherited $100,000 right now, how would you spend it? And I already know the answer to this question, but maybe everybody else doesn't.
What's the answer?
Robert.
$100,000. That's it.
Yeah. Well, maybe you had an aunt that didn't have very much money or something.
What do you think?
Well, I already know what
Robert. $100,000's a lot of money. You get it wrong.
Because
your question was if you became a millionaire. So why did these change so much?
Because I wanted people to know other questions.
Okay. What do you think it would be, Miss Tanya?
I think it'd be investing. He would invest. He would invest in like real estate.
Well, why do you even?
He wouldn't splurge it on something.
You got to get into more detail than that. So we're doing something right now. We're trying to get a HELOC on our primary residence so we can use it as down payment for a house or triplex we're trying to buy. And I think if I had $100,000 all of a sudden, I'd just be like, here you go. We don't need to.
Well-
we don't need to borrow it from the bank.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I would still borrow that money from the bank so we could go buy another one.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying if we didn't have that triplex. That
Yeah, if I inherited $100,000 right now, I would probably definitely not just go blow it. I'd probably spend it on something that was going to give me value and pay me back in the long run. You know, maybe I'd go spend $10,000 and do something fun and put another 90 into the triplex that we need about 80, 90 grand for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to inherit $100,000. I ain't holding my breath for it, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. I ain't holding my breath on winning the lottery either, but I think by the time I do inherit anything, I hope that my life will be financially secure enough that it doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
That's the goal, but who knows?
Yeah. Is
We
there?
go bankrupt. Economy could all crash. We could all freaking.
Gosh,
Everyone.
let's not think.
Although everything collapses into the crater of the earth.
Let's not think that way.
By then, there's that negative thinking again, right? And I think there's a lot of that out there right now. And I've been listening to this podcast that Graham told me about, and he's this naturopathic doctor. Actually, is he a naturopathic? I think so.
Yeah.
Not Graham.
I
No,
don't know.
Graham is. And I watched him on YouTube, and he said some really interesting things about like male hormones and women, and then he was talking about this. He was talking about all these different things that create estrogen in the body, and the soys and all this stuff in today's environment, and plastics. And you know, they threw out COVID a little bit out there, and they're like, you know, I think the one thing that COVID has made people do is question what the government and what the world is actually based on. And you know, they're like, all these studies on all these different products, and they're talking about hyperbaric chamber was denied by the U.S. government for treating what was it for, not fibromyalgia, but it was one of the memory ones. So all these things that have been proven to help people, but the pharmacies and the governments don't look at it, right? They don't look at it. It's not, there's no money in it, and they just push all this stuff aside, and you know, they say it's bad for you. They say that this,
Yeah.
and you know, they're like, COVID has people questioning what's going on more, and I don't know. There's, you know, the world what it is. There's lots of science that's proven. Obviously, COVID's real. I mean, you could say it's not at all, but I'm pretty sure it is. And lots of people would say, you know, but the reality is, you know, the whole world isn't fake. And I think that you really do have to look at for your health and stuff. And some of those naturopaths and those scientists and stuff that are studying these different ways of stuff, they were talking about organic foods that have high levels of metals because the FDA doesn't even test for metals. It doesn't require it. And so all these toxins are building up, and even these organic foods and these heavy metals. I don't know why I went on a tangent about this, but I just think, like, with everything being so crazy right now, you have to be positive, and you do what you got to do. And I think listening to some of those people that have different ways of thinking are important. Mm-hmm. I'm definitely not a conspiracy theorist. I'd never go that route because I don't think it's healthy, or it's a waste of my time. I'd rather be in the gym or out on the boat, or stressing out about real estate. But there's some super smart people out there. His name's, I don't know, something Meir. I don't know. Is it Median? I don't know. Ben, something. I don't know.
I have no idea.
But yeah, it's kind of cool. I was listening to him in the truck, so that's why I was talking about it. On Spotify. Ben told it, or not Ben, Graham told me about it again. I typed it in on Spotify. I didn't know you get podcasts at Spotify.
Oh, yeah. It's like newish, I think.
Is that new? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's newish.
I always just use Stitcher, but I haven't been listening to podcasts much lately.
Oh.
But it's kind of nice to have it on Spotify because it's like easy through the truck and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else you'd like to add besides the rambling?
Besides rambling about naturopaths and the crazy world.
Yeah.
I don't know. If anyone's I think we're still live, right? Is anyone there? If you guys are watching this and you think it's exciting, or you have any questions, comment, send us a message, share it, like it.
Maybe you guys can send us some ideas of what we can talk about.
Yeah. We've been having a hard time going live. I think I go live in this thing last week. Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
we didn't go live for our other business. It's just, my phone won't stop. I think it's on silent, so it should be good. But sometimes it's like, hey, you just gotta. I need to learn how to put my phone down for a few hours. Mm-hmm. Like, put it in, freaking lock it in the safe and just do stuff and be productive, because it's so easy to get pulled. But you also want to serve your clients, and you want to get stuff done. You want to be there for them if they need you. So it's hard to do. So that's it. The other thing is, we said this last time, I think. We didn't do it. Pretty sure we're going to do it this time. We got an investment property we're purchasing in Moncton. It's like a multi-unit, mixed-unit property. We're going to go live on our other business page. So if you want to go check it out, It's called Equire Properties Ltd on Facebook. You should be able to find it. And we're going to try and go live there and review some numbers and look at some cool stuff that's going on with this. I think, actually Seth called me too before I came in. I think it's kind of a gold mine property. I think if everything like really works out the way it is supposed to, it's quite exciting and like crazy things like, you know, like almost replacing Tanya's old income from the bank just off the cash flow on this one purchase with very, very, very minimal of her own money in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks everyone.
Bye.
Do you have anything else to say?
I don't have anything
You're
else.
good.
So
Okay.
I'm good. All right.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.